Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews. It's Gaming Friday. I'm Gary.
And I'm Ian.
And today we are taking a look at an obscure game called Obscure.
Nice.
Which came out on October 1st, 2004 in the UK. And I believe it came out in 2005 in America. And this was developed by Hydravision Entertainment. And it was available on the PC, PS2, and on the Xbox. I also know that right now this game is also really cheap on Steam. I think you can purchase this game for like £2 or $2, nice. Which is a real steal. Right now we're being blasted by some 41. Does it take you back, Ian?
Yeah, it takes me back to my high school days. You know, you turning to me saying, hey, I've got this new horror game we've got to play. We've got to play it 2-player as well.
Exactly. This is a survival horror game that has co-op. It's a 2-player experience. Well, yeah. Mostly. Because, you know, the main player will always be playing. The second player won't necessarily always
Yeah,
be
they
playing.
can drop in and out whenever they want.
That's right, yeah. So this was, as I said, was developed by Hydravision Entertainment, which is a French developer. And that company obviously no longer exists. They eventually became the Mighty Rocket Studios.
Okay.
And they the one game that I can recall that they made was Alone in the Dark from 2008.
Oh, the remake.
Yes.
The remake Alone in the Dark.
The one that killed Alone in the Dark franchise in its tracks.
Yeah, I think when that one came out, we noticed a lot of similarities with this game.
Definitely, yes. And, well, now we know why.
Yes, yeah.
After Alone in the Dark, they went on and made Final Exam in 2013, which is sort of a spin-off of Obscure, but it's essentially a reboot.
Right.
A soft reboot for Obscure, which nobody even paid any attention to. It wasn't very good, and has subsequently been the demise of this company.
I was going to say, this game was very rare. I remember you, like I said, you picked it up, but I've never heard anything about it.
I remember going into the stores and just looking at the shelves to see if there was any new releases or any games that were up there. And this game was sat there, brand new, at $19.99. And I was just like, what? Like, how long has this game been out for if it's already half the price of all these other games?
Yeah.
And the game actually released as a budget retail game of $20 or £20. So I was like, okay, so why? And that was because the developers, you know, they had faith in their game, but they knew that it really wasn't a $40 game.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was competing with those. But in my opinion, this game has held up. It's actually a really good, refreshing change, despite its trappings of looking just like a high school drama with the supernatural.
Yeah, well, it gets really, really deep later on.
Yeah.
You know, like we said when we first started it, we were like, oh, you're just a bunch of teens dropping in and out. But then the story comes along where there's experimentations going on underneath the school. The students are being experimented on by this weird doctor. I think he's a teacher as well.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it takes place in Leafmore High School. And right now, I think you're playing as Kenny.
Yes.
And Kenny will disappear into the school, and the next day his best friends are like, Kenny didn't come home, so we best come back to the school and try and find him.
Yeah.
And they spend the whole night in the school trying to find Kenny and then uncovering the mysteries as to what the school is hiding. And yeah, bizarre experimentations. I think it's plants.
Yeah, plant-based.
It's basically a plant-based monster which is also infecting the students and turning them into plant-like monsters.
Yeah.
And of some of the other faculty members as well. Now, one of the interesting things I liked about the monsters and the gameplay within this game, as you see it in the loading screens, is the flashlight. And the enemies in this game don't like light. They're light sensitive.
Yeah.
So even when you don't have a weapon, you can just be shining your flashlight on an enemy, and then maybe have the other co-op player come in and smack it to death with a wooden stick or a baseball bat, or eventually handguns and shotguns.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of different type of weapons you can get, melee or firearms, and as we're about to see, you can affix your torch to your gun, so that you're constantly, like I said, firing that beam that strong beam against the enemies as well as shooting them with the guns, right?
Yeah, so you can use the light to tear away their armor and then shoot at them and unload once they're weakened. And then, of course, if you have a co-op partner doing the same thing, it's really good. Now, again, another great feature about this game is the ability to aim with your flashlight and gun and continue to move.
Yeah, but you only point one way.
This is true, yes. But it's a breath of fresh air within this genre of game. And, you know, having the flashlight, it works. It adds to the atmosphere as well as providing an actual tool. I think it's a bit like Alan Wake.
Yes, yeah.
So the gameplay is essentially as you would expect in a survival horror action game. You're searching rooms, you're finding items, you're combining items, you're getting guns and flashlights and duct tape, and you unravel the mystery as you go through fighting bosses, exploring new areas of the school, and getting to the end of the game. But there are multiple endings in this game, and there are multiple cut sequences and dialogue options in the game that you might miss because, again, another feature that I like about this game is that there are character permadeath.
Yes.
So you literally, once all of the characters get together, they'll all be in a safe room, which is where you can save your game and choose which survivors you want to take with you to go and explore different parts of the school. And in certain situations, you might need certain characters in order to trigger the events where they will survive the incident that they're currently going through.
Yeah.
And so when the permadeath happens and characters die, it's kind of like, oh, well,
it hits you. It hits
does.
you. I remember there's a sequence, I can't remember how far it is, but there's a sequence where we were coming down an elevator.
Yeah.
And we couldn't stop it. The character that I was playing as got killed in the elevator sequence.
Yeah.
And we were like,
how were we supposed to prevent that? What steps were we should have taken to stop that from happening?
And what do we do now? That character that we were so happy to play as is now dead, and we've got to choose a second-rate character. You know.
So let's have a look at some of the characters and some of the voice actors as well. So there's a character named Josh Carter.
Okay.
And he's voiced by Sam Riegel.
Sam
Do you recognise
Riegel.
the voice?
No.
He played the voice of Donatello in the 2003 series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
And he plays the shy, nervous school reporter.
Yeah.
He also is, every character has their own ability. And his is that if he's with you, if you are in an area, he will tell you whether you've cleared it of all of its items, if there's any ammo or health packs lying around, or if there's any plot items like keys, he'll say, hey, you might want to grab this before we leave.
Yeah.
So he's a good character to have with you. The other one we have is Stanley Jones, and he's voiced by Scott Hayes, and he is a long-time James Franco collaborator.
Right.
Which kind of makes it funny when you realise that Stanley is a stoner. And he's friends with Josh and Kenny. Stanley's also, as well as being a stoner, is a thief and computer hacker. And he is also the team's lockpicker. So you kind of always want somebody with a lockpick in your group.
Yeah.
So you can always see where it can kind of be tough to choose who you'd have in the group. Of course, we've got Kenny here. He's voiced by Liam O'Brien. Recognise the name?
No.
He was the voice of War in Darksiders.
Oh, wow.
So I'm already, I'm quite happy with the voice cast in the game.
Knock me down, come on, knock me down.
You're out of ammo and game over. Or
yeah,
is
but
it?
It's a fake out.
It's another fake out.
Why couldn't I have got past them? But it just sets you up. That's just a prologue.
Yeah, that's just to get you get you used to the gameplay. Going, this is what duct tape and guns do. This is how you explore, interact, and these are the monsters. And you're dead.
You're dead.
Or are you? So, like I said, the rest of the students then have to come to the school the next day, go through normal school drama, and then enter the horrors.
But it was good as well. The interactions between the characters. It was like watching a teen horror movie.
Absolutely, yeah. Just looking at it, it has all the trappings of the cinematography of a high school teen slasher film.
That's it. And if you're a fan of that, then you're just going to get sucked into it very easily and want to see how the story progresses.
Despite the graphics not looking the best, but still, the full motion videos and the animations in game are also they're good enough to keep you invested.
Yeah.
So the other characters that we have, the female characters, we have Shannon Matthews, who was Kenny's younger sister.
Yeah.
And she's voiced by Stephanie Shee. And she is the voice actress for the main character in the Sailor Moon movies and anime TV show.
Right.
Like I said, she's the younger sister of Kenny, and she's smart, but dresses provocatively to hide her intelligence.
Yeah, those skirts are a bit short.
But she's actually really smart. But she doesn't like people knowing she's really smart. So her abilities in the game is that she gives you tips on puzzles, and she's also a doctor.
Oh, nice.
So that when you find medical supplies and you give them to her to give or use, they actually heal for more than what they should. So you have your nurse in the group. And the last character is Ashley Thompson.
That's Kenny's girlfriend?
Yep, that's Kenny's girlfriend. And she's voiced by Tara Platt. Now, Ian, you should recognise that name. Because she was an actress in Hawaii Five-0.
Tara Platt.
I hope you're going to be racking your brain now to remember who she is. But she was also a voice actress in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, really? What, the game or TV series?
The games.
Nice.
So, I'm just like, wow, that's such a really good, talented voice acting cast.
Yes.
It's a shame that some of the dialogue in the game is a little bit cheesy and a little bit... It just seems recorded a little bit flat. Like they weren't all in the same room together delivering the dialogue. So you get those awkward breaks in between their sentences, which, again, it's the trappings of the game. But I guess the dialogue does fit, early 2000s teen dialogue, especially listening to some 41 and...
Yeah. Right, so I have just picked Kenny's sister to come with me. Can I change him for her? Okay, so then I can... Oh, I've got both of them with me? No,
you'll only have one.
I've got one, and I've got a baseball bat, so maybe I can break this. Hey, yeah, smashy. Ooh, is that drink?
Is that supplies? Yeah, energy drinks.
I'm going to take energy drink and smash this
School's
one.
definitely out now.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have locked me in this room, man. Vending machine's out of order.
I wonder why.
Door's locked. Okay. It's a glass door. It's closed.
So, the game, when it was released, it, again, only saw mixed reviews from mixed, average, good and bad.
Yeah.
But nobody was really highly praising the game. Unlike me, who was just a big fan of the survival horror genre, as you might have been able to tell from the channel. And so anything that was offering me another slice of survival horror, I was going to get my hands on, especially knowing that this was co-op. This, having the co-op feature is what Resident Evil would go on to do with, like, from Resident Evil 5 and 6. And a lot of people said that takes the horror aspect away. Because you have a companion with you, or you have a friend sat playing the game with you as well.
Yeah.
But it might not have the horror aspect of it, but again, it has the panic sense that you'll be yelling at each other to do certain things, one of you to attack the monster, where to move, because you will be limited to sharing the same screen together. But, you still... Having that cooperative experience, both sharing the nightmare, does make it less scary, but then again, you can still play the game on your own.
Yeah, she's good with lockpicks, or should I get this girl? You go with me. Okay, and then I'll change to Ashley.
Shannon, she's the lockpicker. Yeah, I think I can pick this.
But has she got... Oh. Try and remember the buttons. Reload. Force lock. Hold down.
There we go. So how is the controls, Ian, as you're playing the game right now?
You're just trying to remember what everything does. The fact that I picked up the wire, but didn't think that I could use the wire to
as a
lockpick. Yeah. So now I'm just like, right, who do I take? Because he's got the baseball bat. So
he might be worth taking along.
Yeah. Oh, Josh. No.
But he'll also tell you whether you've been able to clear a room or not.
Yes. So should we just go? Yeah, we're just gonna go. We're gonna leave the sister in the room on our own, unarmed.
Yeah.
While the creatures are running around the basement.
Well, she'll turn up in the next safe room.
Yeah.
Or if you go back there and wish to change the characters, especially if they take injuries or. Yeah.
Being fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, this game just sits right in there. It
was around that time as well.
Yeah, a bunch of high school students locked in the school, something mysterious going on, and you like I said, you just get lost in the story. Hey, a map. Okay. And we're trying to find where we've got to go. We can't go out the door. School is closed, can't get out. Well, that's a bad sign. Okay, if you're locked inside the school, it's a bad sign. This is where
so many doors.
This is where it came from. Door must be locked.
She'd lock it from inside.
This door's unlocked. So let's find out what's it. And I haven't got a torch either. So if any creatures do pop up, I'll be hitting them with my baseball bat.
Well, there's something on the table over there. Of course, you can tell if there's something worth picking up because it's shiny and it doesn't look like part of the background.
And they automatically look for it as well.
Yes, you can see their heads looking around.
Yeah.
And, gazing upon the items.
So, right, we've just got some tape. Okay.
So, for the first part, it'll be a case of going around and finding generators to turn the lights on, breaking windows so that light shines in from outside.
Yeah, and you need that to help with the monsters, because when you get into the thick of the fighting, you can use the ammo, but you need that light to do the extra damage so that you're not wasting so much ammo for the next sequence.
Or the fight's not going on for a long period of time.
Bunk you up. Can you get in there? Cannot be opened without a tool. Well, Josh is a tool, so... Josh, why didn't you...
Do you need the lockpick, or... It's not very clean.
I'm thinking I probably need like a spanner or a screwdriver.
Yes, screwdrivers are one of the key items for opening
this place stinks.
We're in a toilet.
Yeah, that's it.
It's an appropriate place to write the sign, I guess.
Let's see if the boys is any cleaner.
Now, there is one issue that I will have with the game, is that it is a bit convoluted in terms of the school's architecture.
Yeah.
The design and the layout doesn't really make too much sense. And sometimes when you need to get somewhere, you've got to go in the most complicated, convoluted path just to come back around on yourself to get into the room that was, locked off by another access point, which you then be able to open from the other side. And it's just like, oh my god. It's just irritating.
Makes the mansion look look
it makes the mansion look tiny, of course. Yeah. I mean,
locked.
A lot of survival horror games do have that one central hub area, which has like the 3 or 4 branching doors, which lead to all of the subsections of that location.
Yeah.
This one here is no exception. It looks just identical, except there's 3 floors of stairs and about 20 doors off of every sideway.
Yeah, and half of them you can't even get into anyway.
I always hated going into schools in survival horror games or hospitals because it would just be endless corridors filled with doors on each side.
Yeah,
and it's like, what's in this classroom? Oh, more murderous children. What's in this classroom? Oh, more murderous children. But somehow there was handgun ammo in here. Like, who's bringing handgun ammo to school?
Smash this door.
But it does create... I mean, they are great settings for horror. Hospitals and schools, especially abandoned ones, because you have these large, wide open spaces and you don't know what's lurking behind all those doors. And so the game does try to get at you with its good sound and music and its very cheap jump scare moments where things jump out of a locker or through a doorway. But like I said, it's not that scary. It's playing to the horror trope, so it just kind of makes me smile when it happens.
Yeah, because you're familiar with it. You know what's going to happen. Oh, come on, guys. Every door's locked.
Every door is locked, of course, and so they're just dead ends. It's just scenery.
Right, let's see if we can find the map. Where's the map to? Okay. That's good. It marks all the doors.
Very Silent Hill, where it marks on the map the doors when you know they're open, when they're locked, and changes on there.
So, locked.
You can see where Sharon is. You can see where that question mark is. I'm guessing that's where it's listed whether it was items or an access point that you couldn't get to yet.
Yeah, that's the air vent. So now we've got to... Right. Did that door.
Was there a door upstairs that you didn't open?
That looks like it's blocked off, but I can only get through the...
Well, it looks like 2 doors up there that are not locked, but not
on the
open.
other side of the rooms, yeah. No, don't want a gathering point. Go back. Okay, back upstairs. Come on in, Ashley. Back up the stairs.
Always with the backtracking.
Yep, always got to check these extra doors. Did I see that door there? Right, that door's locked.
And
this door must be locked.
It must be locked.
It must be locked. And she blocks my way, so I've got to change to her?
Yeah. Well, at least it's easy enough to do. And like I said, you control all 5 characters. They're all the main character in a way. Although you probably find yourself becoming more fixed. Like I said, like we said earlier, you'll find a character that you like playing and you like who the companion is, and it. Even though when characters die, the game is still completable. You know you can't fundamentally lose at the end of the game.
You just get the bad ending.
You just get the bad ending where it's not all the survivors at the end.
Yeah.
But then you also miss out on certain dialogue and cut sequences, which I guess is better when you have all the characters interacting with each other.
Yeah, but the replayability's there. On the first playthrough, you will lose people and you'll be like, how was I supposed to survive that? Then when you go back and play it again, oh, you can move. Oh, no,
Yep.
no, don't.
Other way.
Move this way. Move it this way. Strain it. Yeah. Show my strength off to this girl. Yeah, and you just want to go back and do it all again.
Found the screwdriver.
The screwdriver was lost in this room during the renovation work.
Oh.
Please let me know if you find it.
The one screwdriver. Is that it under there? Did you, when you push the cabinet aside?
That's what I'm about to check. I'm about to check it.
It looks like it.
Oh, boom, screwdriver. Okay,
Nice.
Now we go check that air vent. And that's also nice and refreshing. That it is pretty simplistic.
Yeah.
You know, okay, you got busted air vent. You need a tool to get it. Move around, search a couple of the rooms. Boom, you found the tool. You're on to the next section.
Yeah.
The main difficulty I'd say is when the combat happens.
It
You
is
know?
a bit. It does get a bit of a cluster mess, especially when you've got all of the furniture in the way. You've got your co-op partner who's either working with you or against you. Sometimes it feels.
Yeah, and obviously you're not wanting to injure them, but during the battle they're gonna start taking the hits for you
Yeah.
because you don't want to die.
Yeah.
And then trying to keep the health as well.
I did find it easier playing the game with somebody controlling the AI, because the AI can sometimes be a bit stupid and just go on a death wish. It will blast all of the ammo, sometimes wasting it.
Yes.
They're not always the best shots. And so, yeah, and you obviously, if you don't want them to die and they just go rushing headlong into the fight with little health, there's not that much you can do about it unless you quickly switch to them, in which case then you've got to hope that the character you wanted to play as then plays the way you wanted them to do
Yeah,
it, if that makes sense. So I would definitely, you need two controllers, and it is only couch co-op. You can't play the game sort of online, which is, you know, the game's limitation again.
Yeah. PS2, Xbox original kind of limitations there, but it reminds me as well. Like we said, it reminds me a lot of The Faculty.
Definitely,
Reminds me a lot
yeah.
of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It reminds me a lot of old TV shows involving schools and scary things going on that I always wanted to be able to just have at home and not have to relive again. And this game allowed me to do that, where I'd get attached to the female characters, I'd get attached to the male characters, and then when somebody dies, you're like, no, I can't believe they died at that point.
Yeah. And like I said, even though we can see all their grades, or is it their attendance? Or both.
Yeah, that's I think it's all the
Disappeared.
grades.
Kenny Matthews disappeared.
Yeah, Kenny Matthews.
So would you recommend the game, Ian?
I would definitely, and I'd even recommend Obscure 2, the Aftermath, I think it was called.
That's right.
I went out and purposely got that for the PSP when that was released, because I had so much fun playing this one. The second one is a lot like the first one. The story gets a bit more crazier, where there's like people getting impregnated by the weird alien experimentations and things like that. But if you really enjoyed the first one, the second one just keeps that universe expanding, keeps it bigger.
Yeah, I thought it would be a pretty good franchise. I don't know how much further they could take it. I guess they fell into Alone in the Dark, which had elements from this, but they kind of massively missed the mark. I would love for a HD remake of this game, or just get the Steam version of the game and play it that way now. But it would be great to have this game co-op online multiplayer as well. I would also, again, just love another game in the franchise. Like I said, The Final Exam was just such a letdown after the first two Obscure games. But again, if you've got that survival horror itch, and this is a game that again you might have missed, and like I said, and still being available to play now, you'd be a fool to pass it up, especially if you're a fan of this genre of gameplay.
This is one of those old puzzles. I'm just gonna stop. breaking my mind soon.
Because Ian, this is like a simple puzzle.
I've got to find the wheel for the middle one, haven't I?
Right. Can't you take the wheel off and then...
No. No, I can move this. I can move it to there. Alright, stay. Okay. This one.
No, you have to find another wheel.
Gotta find another wheel.
And so with that, I was going to say thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next Friday looking at another video game. Of course, film reviews on Thursdays. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.
I'm lost again in school.